Yeah. All right. So, welcome to today's class. Welcome to this class. So, okay. First off, how was the assignment? How was the assignment? Was it hard? Was it easy? How was it? So, you can just drop your comment on the chat. How was the assignment? Or if you don't want to drop, or do you have any comment about the assignment? Okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. So, yeah. Before I go ahead, let's just take a very short time to let me just go through it. So yeah, let me just go through it and try to see. Let me share my screen. Mhm. Right. So let me just go ahead and assignment. But I won't share the assignment until because I've not graded the assignments. But what I will do is after I explain it, I'll still give you the grace to go back and make modifications to your assignment, but without my file or without my document. Understand? So that's what I would do. I would make the correction and you still have, because it's online, and probably use a gist or use a repo. So you just go back and make modifications to it, because then when I'm done grading everyone's assignment, then I can now share this file. But yeah, so the assignment I gave, all right, yeah, it's fine, it's fine. Basically, all these things are they are protocols you need to follow, right? So the idea is do it before a particular time, and I extended the time, but unfortunately, we weren't able to do it, but it's fine. So what I said was, I need you to create a wallet application. Now, what should this application do? You should be able to receive Ether. You should be able to send out Ether. Yeah, you should be able to receive Ether. Okay, let me go and check. So let me now read from my head. Yeah, so build a wallet application that allows any user to store, send, and deposit Ether. Custom error messages, use of events after key operations. So basically, I just want you to be able to have a contract whereby when I send in Ether, it keeps track of it. When I send out Ether, it keeps track of it. And it should be able to tell me how many Ether I have. And you should be able to know my balance if I want to check. So basically, let's just go ahead quickly. Okay, so let me just call it wallet. So that's the best name that comes to mind. Best name that comes to mind. So yeah, so this is it now. First of all, I want to be able to store. I want to be able to store the users, right? So basically, Or okay, let me just make it more even interesting. So I want to even have an owner, because if I create a wallet and you're using it, somehow I want to be able to get some incentive, right? So I want to store the owner, like the owner of this contract. You get? So okay, please zoom in. All right, all right, all right. All right. It's better, right? So I want to be able to store the owner of this contract. And yeah, I want to be able to store the owner of this contract. And there are certain privileges this person has. So I want to be able to like take like fees and stuff. So let's get the owner. Let's have an owner. So let's do address public owner. So this is me. Understand? So I want to create a wallet, but I want to be able to get money from it when you use it. So basically, I want to add myself. So let me add a constructor. So anytime anyone that deploys this contract is the owner of the contract. So let me just do that. So owner is equal to MSG sender. So yeah, this is the owner. Now, that's by the way. Now I just created this. What I just basically is I want to be able to know when, like when anyone deploys it, I want to save that person as the owner of the contract. And as an owner of a contract, you have certain privileges. So now let's create modifiers. So yeah, part of the assignment was using modifier to enforce ownership. Now in this contract, there are two types of ownership right now. Is either I want to spend Is it I want to spend token that like either that belongs to me or the owner wants to do something. So I want to have two modifiers. One of them, the name will be only owner, which means that only owner can call that function. And another one will be only user, or yeah, only user basically. So let me just do that. So modifier only owner. So what this does is it just checks. Okay, in reality, there might not be like a lot of use cases for this only owner because of this contract. I might have only one function that requires me to use this, which is probably the function that would allow me to withdraw money. I just want you to see how it's used and why I'm actually using it. Oh, I don't know. I feel like some people are still really, really angry with me that I came very late. I'm sorry. I don't know. I just slept off. No verse. But yeah, back to what I was doing. So then this just checks that this is the owner. But basically what it just checks if the person calling this, because we'll be using it, it's a modifier, right? And without just on its own, it really doesn't do much. In fact, it doesn't do anything if it's not used on something. So if you know Python, you know the idea of decorators. And from the word decorators, it's decorating something, right? You cannot just, if you say something is decorating something and it's not decorating anything, then you can't really use it for much. So the modifier is like a decorator. And when I use it on what I'll be using it on, if this check doesn't pass, it should throw this error. Let us say only owner, or let me say only owner can call. Only owner can call. Then if this passes, then it goes to the next line and runs the function. So this is what this means, right? And I think I explained this last week. This is what this means. When you see this inside a modifier, it means that run the function that it is on, like it's working on. You get.
Can you close the sidebar so that we can see the full screen of your code
Oh,
well?
oh, that's true. That's true. Sorry about that. That actually skipped my mind. Yeah,
All
this is
right,
better,
thank you.
right? Yeah. So now let me have the second modifier, which is only user. So basically what I want this modifier to do is that when you try to do something, on the contract, on the function, it checks that you have enough balance. You understand? So basically, there'll be at least two places in this contract whereby I need to do something, and I need to make sure that you're the owner of that particular balance. You understand? You're the owner, and you are not like someone else trying to steal. So basically, I need to be able to know who is passing in. So basically, now this modifier, I don't know if you probably would have found out, but I didn't say it last time. Modifier takes in functions. So now this will take in, I want it to take in amount. Yeah, I want to take in amount. So amount. So yeah, and now because I want to use it for something, I need to create another thing, which is a user's mapping, which I want this to be able to store the balances of users. Yeah, so basically, I'll map this from address to viewing. So basically, this will help me and store the balance of each user using my wallet. So users. So what this does is that it checks that you have enough balance here. That you have enough balance here, and it just, instead of you doing that logic many places, it just does the check for you. So for those that are just coming in, sorry for, like, I heard like people had to leave. I'm sorry about that. And you can go, and after the call you can still make modification to your assignment, but um it's not even like it's not even like I'm stopping you from making the modification, because it's online. So even me, without saying it, that you can make modifications. Just that I'm just trying to tell you that I've not assessed it yet. So okay, go ahead, Elizabeth. Go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, so my question is that for writing smart contract code, must we all have this particular arrangement or format, or there are different ways at which we can all arrive at the same answer?
Um. Okay. Yes, I have. I didn't tell you how to write the code. You get, but I told you what I want you to have achieved at the end. You get, and there are not a lot of ways to achieve at the same goal. But yes, if you have another way of landing at the same place, for instance, now if you use only one modifier instead of two, that's fine, because it's even as I was writing this contract, I thought about, okay, why not use two modifiers instead of one? You get, so you might not want to use two modifiers, you might want to use only one. But does it do exactly what I said you should be doing? You get.
Thank God,
So,
because me, I was almost feeling scared. I used only one modifier, so when I saw you using two, I started wondering.
yeah, it's not a big deal. Like, I just decided to use it. You get, but at the end, does it do what it's supposed to do? So yeah, it's not a must. You must use this. I don't know what I mean by arrangement, but there's
And
something
because
called it.
the reason why
Okay,
I'm asking is because the video I came across that I used to do the assignment,
yeah.
the person was embedding his modifier inside a function, but and there was a way he was calling it that it was going to say error. So I was trying to merge both his code and what you taught us in the last class. That's why I said I'm not even sure if my answer is correct. So
No,
I was just trying to
you
get
guys can
an
go
idea.
ahead,
So
make
is that what?
modifications. You guys can still go ahead and make modifications to your code until I score them. But yeah, but I don't know what you mean by embed modifier in a function. But what I'm doing right now, I'm defining the modifier. I've not even used it. So I don't know if that's what you mean by, because I'll still use it on a function, but that doesn't mean that it is inside the function. I'm creating it differently, and I'm calling it on as many functions that I would want to call it in the future. Yeah, but don't worry, we'll
Okay,
get there. Yeah.
all right.
Yeah. So yeah, let me just now, what this modifier does is that it checks that the person calling a function has enough balance to go ahead. You get, or let me just give these balances. I think this is better. Basically, it checks that the person calling, so it checks that the balance of the person calling, but yeah, as the balance of the person calling is greater or equal to amount. Because like I said, there will be scenarios whereby we need to do something with, like you want to sell now, we need to check if you have enough. Understand? Because Solidity uses default values. So for instance, now if you create this mapping balances now, if I just created it, I don't have anything inside of it. But if I bring a random address and come and check it inside, it will give you 0, right? It will not give you undefined or like an array that to tell you that you are trying to get an index that does not exist. So it does, like, it gives everything default values automatically. So basically, I want to check that you have, because if I bring a random address, it will give me 0. Understand? But if I'm storing them, like if I'm storing these values, then if you have put in money inside the contract, then you should have some money. Don't worry, let me just go ahead so you understand. Okay, let me say insufficient fund. Insufficient fund. Let me see. Expected or got. Is this even how this is? Let me check something. I think there's a mistake here, but I'll still check it out. So let's go ahead. Let's have the function that allows our contract to receive Ether, which it's a core part of our contract. So last time I said I used fallback, but right now I want to use receive because there's only one goal for my. I don't want to really do much. I just want to make sure that once you just send, it saves the person that sent. So let me just have my receive function. Okay, wait, let me take these modifiers off. I feel like it's cleaner to have it that way. But there's something called a style guide, and if you're a fan of clean code and stuff like that, you just go and take documentation of how they think to collapse. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah. So let me have the. In fact, this is not even how I did it the other day. Like the way I'm doing it, like the screen, the zooming, but it's not like I'm not doing something right with the zooming. Because I'm meant to be able to see everywhere while still having a big screen. Because even on my end, it seems like I'm coming. Let me try something. Okay. So let's go ahead. So function receive. So external table. So what I want this function to do basically is that once you send money, it just does this. It does balances. It takes the address. That's the person that sent it, msg.sender, and it increments plus equals energy.value. It takes your current balance and it adds up the one you just sent, right? So this is what it does basically. Okay, please go ahead. Yeah, Bakare, go ahead.
Yeah, so I thought that for a receive function, how am I hearing myself? You don't need to use the function keyword.
Mm, I think. Okay, let's remove it. Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, you don't need to use the function keyword. But yeah, yes, true. You don't need to use the function keyword. Yeah, this also works. Yeah, that's right. Um, yeah, this works too. So now let's have let's have our first function, which is so we already have the function that stores. So this stores ether. So we already have a core part of our contract, stores ether. Yeah, and also let's also bring in something I talked about, events. So let me just define my event up here. Event. So let's call it stored. Okay. Go ahead.
Please collapse the sidebar.
Okay. Is this better? Hmm? Yeah. Go ahead. Speak. Can you see better now?
I still can't see it. I don't know what's wrong with the screen today.
What about this one?
Yeah,
Like
that's
this.
better. That's better.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry. So we now have the first one, which is we have this function that stores data for us. Then now we have, you can just zoom in. Yeah, I'm doing that, but don't worry, I'm doing that. Yeah, so let's have, so what this event emits is the person that sent the ether and the amount they sent, and also the timestamp. Because imagine that we're like wanted to use our data for business and want to make sense of our data, right? People that do data analytics. So we want to take in this data from the smart contract. So this is where this thing comes in. So what imagine wanted to make this kind of assertion or make this kind of claim that want to know the amount of people that sending it at the particular time in the day. So this is where this event thing comes in. You understand? So basically, emit, I want to emit the, I want to emit the timestamp, the sender, which is person that sent it, sender, and the amount. The amount. So when someone sends in ether here, I want to emit it. So I want to emit stored. Emit stored, and I want to pass in the timestamp, which is blocked on timestamp. I want to pass in the sender, which is msg.sender. I want to also pass in msg.value. So let's see, this is a very important place where we use events. So now I can emit this data and can use this thing for data and for something in the future. So it's important. It's sometimes even if sometimes some people just listen for these events to know that this function actually was called. You can just decide to listen to event and you will know that something happened. So yeah, let's also say withdraw. Let's call withdraw. Okay. So I want to do something. I want to say that any amount of ether, because of I already did this owner thing, right? So I want
Please
10% of
scroll
any
up.
amount.
Please. Quick.
Huh?
Okay. I wanted you to please scroll up. I wanted to write something out. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. So now, I already brought the idea of the owner, right? So imagine I was like very, very greedy and I wanted to take in 10% of anything that comes in. You get 10% of any money that comes into this contract. I want to take it. So basically here, I'll do divided by 10, right? So I'll come here and do that any money that comes into the contract, I'll divide it by 10 and I'll take 10 and give the person 90. So I'll say msg.sender dot value minus 10. You get this small mass we are doing here, which is you divide it by 10, then if it's 100, divide it by 10, then you get 10, then you minus 100 by 10 from 10, and you get 90. So this is what we did here. So now know that 10% of that entered into the contract. Understand? So just to take note of that. So okay, by the way, in fact, apart from this storage happening here, all the money coming is entering into the contract though. But just that I want to be able to know who has it. That's why I'm doing this thing. Even if as I'm doing this stuff now, I'm doing this thing happening here, this MSG dot something here. This thing is just me storing values. It's not like the money is entering this mapping. I'm just trying to store all the money is entering the contract. But I want to know who has how much each person has. So I want to do withdraw. Withdraw. This is an important place where I need this only user. So now let's go back here, and I think it's giving us error. I want to see what was the error. Oh, see me. Too much of JavaScript. Is it JavaScript or Python? I'm going to go colon. So yeah, so now this is where we use only user. So I just bring it here. So automatically that check happens. So I'll just pass in the amount I want to withdraw. So if I put amount here now, amount, okay. I used to forget this thing. I put in other scores. It does not affect the code, it's just me, I just like it. So yeah, I can pass in the argument here to see it. Okay, go ahead.
The withdraw function. Isn't there supposed to be okay? Use external. I thought it should be public.
It depends. I if you know you will not use that function inside the contract anywhere, just go ahead and use external. Right now, I'm not using this contract anywhere inside the contract, so I just like using external. But if I was using it inside the contract, or so I wanted to use it somewhere inside the contract, I'll use public because public is both internal and external, but external is just outside or outside inside the function that is calling this inside a contract that's inheriting from this contract.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
All right. So yeah. So first of all, this check is already happening. This only user. Yeah. So first, I don't need to now start doing require blah 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 here. So I've gotten the first part, which is if you're not the owner of that amount, just insufficient fund. So now we now what we did here. We abstracted this logic so that we don't have to start repeating it because I might have to do the same thing now if I want to transfer it. You get so now let's now do the operation. First of all, we want to do balances msg.sender because we want to minus the money you get. We want to do this minus equals to amount. You understand? So just like if you're trying to transfer money from your account, they'll minus the money now that you are trying to transfer. So that's what's happening here. It is send and no value. So first of all, I'll remove the amount. You understand? Then I'll now say payable. I'll wrap the person around payable and then do transfer, then do amount. Another place where I need events, I need withdrawn or withdraw. Let me just call it withdraw. Withdraw, which is, let me also do timestamp because I want to assume that I take time very seriously. So MSG, just send down MSG the value. So let me just, I want to come here and do that. Let's change this to withdraw. Okay, our time is fast spent, but I just think this is important. I feel like some people. Okay, what's the error? Let's see. Only use image of value can only be used in payable functions. Oh, okay. Let me call this. You see what they're telling us? Let me use amount of. So I use MSD of value and they're telling me that it cannot be used in payable functions. So I just use the amount instead. Because a payable function, like I said, is a function that can receive ETA, but this function is not receiving ETA, rather it's sending out ETA. So I just use this here instead. Yeah. So just take note of something. There's an attack called reentrancy attack. That's why I did put this thing before the actual transferring of money. So assuming I come here now and put here, right? Assuming I bring this thing now and put it on top. And then this contract, a malicious player now, I think if we have the time, we might treat reentrancy, but I don't think there'll be time for it. But the reason why this thing is after is because so that if you try to re-enter this function, you understand? If you try to re-enter this function, it has already withdrawn the money from your account. You understand? It has already deducted the money from your account. But if I go and put this thing here now, somebody might implement something in their own contract that just keeps calling this function without reaching this part. You get it? So I might do, so far there's money in this contract, I should just keep calling this withdraw function and first will just dry up your contract and you just find out that you have been hacked. So that's why I put it just like your bank account now. Just like when you go to POS, they always remove the money first before anything. That way you actually hear reversal. There will be bad network, but they will withdraw it first. They will remove it first. Let them know that it's no more there. These things, they first withdraw the money, then they will not start processing everything. As at the time when their money is leaving your account, they have not transferred nothing. That's why once something happens, they'll tell you that they will reverse it. The money has already been deducted because they don't want to see a scenario whereby they'll try to process it before they withdraw it. No. It's bad. So it's not even unique to smart contract, it happens everywhere. So let me say, so this one, it's withdraws ETA. So we have one more, I think is withdraws ETA. I think the last one is transfer. So first of all, this is bad practice. It is bad practice to do actual transfer. So, because for instance now, if you implement, for instance now, if you call this function transfer dot amount dot transfer, right? So what this does is that it transfers money to this address, right? And imagine this address was a contract. And now, whatever I implement inside this receive function, because if a contract, for a contract to be able to receive ETA, right, it should have receive function or fallback function. So whatever I implement inside my receive function or fallback, like check it out, you don't know me, you don't know anything about my contract. But whatever I implement inside, even if I implement 1,000 lines of code inside the receive function, it is me that is trying to send money to you that will pay for the gas needed to run the code inside your inside your fallback function, your receive function. Imagine now inside this place now, I had like 1,000 lines of code, and you would never know, you would never find out because of there are a lot of contracts. Do you understand? So imagine I implement like 1,000 lines of code inside here. You get, and you now try to transfer money to me. Then it will not reach here. It will not start running everything. Most times, in those kind of cases, it will just fail. You get the transaction will fail, and it's your own guys that will go. So one thing that's always advised is lazy minting or lazy transfer, which is you just tell me that I can now withdraw. Then I'll not be the one to go and call that function that is meant. So instead of me to call a function that transfers to you, I would rather call a function that says that you can now collect the money. Then you will now go and collect the money. So in fact, let me just do it here. So basically, what I want to be able to do is that I want to create a function, because as me, I just wanted to do another, like I wanted to do transfer. I'll just come here and change this. So it's just the same thing as withdraw, but I'll just come and change it here to the person I'm sending the money to. You understand? So it's not like it's something else I want to do. I'll just come here and change it to the person I'm sending money to. It's the same thing. But what I'm trying to tell you is that it is bad practice to be the one to pay for fees when you are sending money to somebody. Apart from just normal MetaMask, even the MetaMask owns it. If you put in a contract address and you want to send it to the person, and the person implements bad logic or implement very heavy logic inside their fallback function or receive function, you will be the one to pay for it. So what's actually advice is lazy minting or lazy withdrawal, which is telling the person that you can now withdraw. Then the person will now go and call the function by himself, and then now be the one to withdraw it. So let me just do it here. So basically, I want to say that this is a transfer function, and I want to put the amount of the I want to put the amount, and also I want to put the receiver. So basically, what I want to do is okay, let me have transfer. I think it's just repetition, but let me use it as I say receiver. Okay, let me add receiver. It's true. So it's not just repetition. Let me add receiver. I wish I could be even faster because our time is running very, very fast. So basically, just the same thing happening here. But now I don't want to do this actual sending here. I just want to deduct from my own account and add to your own account. So let me just show you what I'm saying. So instead of doing the actual transfer, I'll come here and I'll deduct my own and update your own. Update your own. With that amount. You get. So what just happened is that the next time you come, you can just call this function because I've already updated your own balance. So I also have this thing here, this only amount, because the wrong person should not go and call it. Understand? So I'll just implement this here now. Add this. Then transfer. Then I'll add in you that I want to send money to. Put your address here. Okay, this looks nice so far. This looks nice so far. So basically, once I transfer to you, I don't need to transfer it out. You just come here now and try to call this withdraw function by yourself, and you'll be able to withdraw because I've already updated the money database that I'm using. So this is transfer it. So the question that Elizabeth asked, you don't need to do it exactly like this, but if you can give me all these things, like if I can see all these things, I can be able to update, withdraw, and transfer. You are good to go. So
Wait,
okay,
I'm sorry, please. What's the difference between withdraw and transfer?
exactly. So basically, when I'm withdrawing, I'm taking the money into my account. So there's actual sending of Ether into my inside my account. But in transfer, I'm just updating the balance. So that the person I'm updating, like for instance, I'm deducting from the person sending and crediting the person receiving. So that next time the person that received can come and call withdraw and they'll be able to receive Ether. So I said the reason why I'm not doing the actual transfer is that it is bad practice to be the one to pay for fee when you're sending another person back money on the contract, because you might fall into a situation whereby the person implements either malicious logic inside their fallback or receive function, or they are running a lot of code that might just finish your gas. Understand? So yeah, that's just the difference. Orelua, you can go ahead.
I want to ask, are we actually like tracking the entire balance of everybody?
Yes, yes. So this is what is tracking the ether balance.
But is it tracking
Huh?
the actual entire balance?
Yes, it is. It is. In as much as it tracks it in way, but it does. It does track. You get it does track. Which part? The receive, this one.
Mapping part, the mapping part, the mapping where we are tracking the
This one.
balances. How do we know that we're tracking the, or is it just for any currency? Because I don't know. I don't know if you get my question, Sha.
Okay, okay. Let me go over that again. What we are tracking, remove just at this particular point in time, remove the fact that Ether is money and look at it as numbers, because that's what these things are. Ether is just number. You understand? So what I'm doing here is that this is an address, right? And it's mapping to a number. And that number is your Ether balance in way. I don't know if I said it, but all the Ether denominations, the only one that is represented in the contract is way, which is 10 raised per 18. So 1 Ether is equal to 10 raised per 18 way. So that's what is represented here. You understand? So that's what this thing stores. It tracks, it maps an address to a balance, to an amount, to a number. So that's where this all starts. When you send in money and I receive the money inside this contract, I will update your balance with the amount you sent. But I'm taking 10%, right? So I'll divide your money by 10 and collect my 10%. You understand? I'll collect my 10% and give you 90. And then I'll emit that you have stored money. You understand? So the same thing happens here. But now I want to take in. So this modifier checks that you actually have the amount you want to take out. Sorry, take out rather. You have the amount you want to take out of the contract. Okay, I'm coming a bit. So this checks the amount you want to take out of the contract. Then this comes here to update it. Like it just comes here to minus it from your balance. It just removes it from your balance. You understand? And then it's now send it to you. Now, mind you, the reason why I'm doing this thing here is because of you. The person calling it is the actual owner of it. So, like I said, I don't want to go and implement actual hot sending, or you can, I call that the other one lazy sending, but you can say hot sending or just normal sending when I don't even know the content of the person I'm sending it to. So that's why here, instead of me doing this transfer again, like I would have just done this here. See, I would have just done this here now and change this address to the receiver, which is this receiver. This actually works, right? But I said, if, for instance, now I now do this, when I call this function, if the receiver is a contract, because a smart contract can be also putting money here, you just need to build it. I can be, in fact, instead of using a normal EOA, which is a normal like account that MetaMask gives me, I can use a smart contract to interacting with this contract. Now, the risk is that I don't know the content of your fallback function or your transfer or your receive function. Understand? So any logic inside your transfer, your receive function, anything that happens there, I'll be the one to pay for the gas. So it's risky. you might be running 1,000 lines of code, or you might be running an infinite loop there, and my money just finished because I want to send you that. So basically, I just update your balance so that anytime you like, you can come and call this withdraw function, because I've already updated that you have it. Because that's what I did here. I just updated that money in your own listing. So I did. So are you clear? Are you clear now? So okay, you can go ahead and ask your question.
Okay. I want to ask. I'm curious. This rock projects, this kind rock project where the developers include an anti-sell mechanism or function in the smart contract. How can you
Yeah.
give a representation of how we can achieve that?
Okay. Okay. So we'll be talking about AI 20 tokens. So I would, when I'm talking about it, just remind me.
Okay.
So yeah. So yeah. So basically, now let's now do the function. So in fact, okay, let's get the balance. Let's get the balance in this particular contract. So let's do get balance. What it does is that it just returns the balance in this particular contract. Return address this dot balance, then this return yeah. So this will be a view because it doesn't update state and it doesn't view. So let me call a function where, let me call this function owner withdraw. Let me just bring this in, but let me just copy this, but this would have the owner withdraw.
I'm totally lost. It's really confusing
Okay, what parts is confusing?
because my code for the assignment was so much shorter than this, and I'm actually surprised with all the
Me
functions that I'm seeing here. So
Okay,
I think the best
okay.
thing is maybe
very
to
short.
go
Way
back
shorter
our
than this.
assignment, because me saying
Okay.
I want to adjust is like I'm going to duplicate your code. So I think it's
Don't worry.
best you
I
mark
won't.
our assignment and then
Don't worry. Don't worry. I won't share this until I mark your assignment. But I'm just giving you the grace to go and update it. But see, let me explain
and that's what
something.
I'm
It's not
saying,
that
that what to know what to
it's not as
update
complex as
is not
you
the
think. Wait,
issue.
let me just go over it again. See, this function takes in ether, right, and updates your balance, right? This one you can use it to withdraw, right? This one you can use it to transfer. This one you can use it to withdraw, but it's only the owner of the contract, which I did here. This thing I did here. Understand? So now this is, I said I'm taking 10%. So I'm taking the 10%. There should be a way for me to take it out. That's why I'm doing this owner withdrawal. It's not like you must do it. You get, not like you must have this thing here. I'm just saying that, imagine I'm taking 10% and I want to now withdraw there. Because if I'm taking money from you and I don't have any way to withdraw it from the contract, then there's no point now. So that what this function is doing. And I'm not even done doing it. But trust me, it's not as complex as you think. It's not as complex as you think. You get me? Okay, Victoria, go ahead. Okay, Victoria, go ahead. Mercy, I'll come to you. Victoria, go
Um,
ahead.
please, can you explain what the 10% is all about? And can you also explain the constructor function or whatever it is called? Thank you.
Okay. The 10% is just something I brought in because of I brought in two modifiers and I want to have a use case for the owner, because normally without, if I'm not doing anything concerning the owner of the contract, then I don't really need any owner modifier. Understand? So the reason
Wait,
why I'm
so
bringing it,
when you are using a modifier, you have to like get something, or I don't understand.
Okay. So the modifier is meant to modify something, but if I don't, like for instance, now imagine that I didn't write this owner withdraw, then there will be no need to have this owner here. So I just created created something that I would need it for. Do you get? So this owner modifier now checks that before you call a function, you should be the owner, which is this owner specified here. But now, if I remove this thing now, just imagine that this thing was not here. There's really no need to start doing. Like there's really no need to. Okay, if this one was commented out now, you see that there's no use case for this thing. There's no use case for it. So because of I have it, I created a use case for it. That's what I'm saying. It's not a must you have it. You get. But I'm not even done creating it. So it's not
Wait,
like
I understand that part of the modifier and the only owner. I'm talking about the 10%.
okay. Let me explain 10%. So you actually create a business now. You actually create a fintech company and you want to be collecting 10%. That's what I did here. Simple. It's not even like there's any big thing behind it. You understand? So I want to be able to use the owner modifier and I want to be able to use it in the owner withdrawal. But if there's no money coming into the contract, what will I withdraw? That's why I'm taking the 10%. So that there will be a reason why I want to withdraw the 10%. Do you get? So it's not even a big deal. I'm just saying that I want to collect 10% so that the money will enter the contract. Then I'll not be withdrawing it to myself. So I'm just creating use cases for this. It's not like there's any big reason behind this thing. 10% is just normal. Like I'm sharing your money into 10 places and taking 10% out of it. So that's what I did here, just taking 10%, nothing much. Do you understand?
So, like, it's not that composed, just your own.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So I actually created this first, right? Only owner. At this point, there was no need to use only owner, right? And I thought about, okay, what are you going to do to need this thing in the first place? Because if I remove this thing now, I will remove this one too. This 10% thing here. I'll also come and remove this one here too. But I want to make this thing as robust as possible for the sake of learning. It's not like there's any crazy idea behind wanting to use all these things. Do you get?
Can you explain the constructor, like the use of it,
Okay,
please? Yes.
okay. Constructors are basically functions that are called ones. So that's why they're called, and object oriented programming, constructors are functions that are called ones. But in terms of smart contract, in their own idea of calling is when you deploy it. So anytime you deploy the contract, the constructor is called and it cannot be called again. It's not even among the functions you see if you come here. So basically, if you want to do something like this now, whereby you need to set something based on who deployed it, because once I declared this as owner and I set the value here, msg.sender is the owner of the contract. Sorry, is the deployer of the contract. And I'll set it to the owner because if you are the one to deploy a contract, there's like 80% chance that you are the owner of the contract. So we are making you the owner of the contract, and you're the one that is now doing the whole withdrawal, taking all the money because of my added percentage stuff. Do you understand?
Yes. Thank you.
All right. So Messi, you wanted to say something? Please go ahead.
You've done it already. Like, I wanted to ask a question about that only user. You're using the only user for the owner withdrawal. So I wanted to ask a question, but then you already changed it to only owner as you're explaining.
Okay. All right. So basically, anytime okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the class
Yeah,
so
good evening.
far. Yeah, I'm having an issue with Remix. I wasn't able to test my code yesterday. I only wrote it, I just wrote it down like that, but I wasn't able to test it. And I've been trying since morning. I've still not been able to test. Like it just comes up and it stays blank. So I don't know if there's anything you did differently. I wasn't in the class from the beginning. I don't know
Okay,
if anyone is experiencing that. What did you say?
Remix, like when you're trying to open Remix, or does it have anything to do with your code? Because Remix, they
No,
had this times.
when I'm trying to open Remix, I've been on it since morning.
Yeah, I don't think it's from your
My
code. I don't think so.
network. I usually experience it when my network is very bad. I
Yeah,
experienced it
Remix.
once when I have bad network. It should be your network.
Okay.
Remix
Okay,
needs
fine.
really strong internet connection.
Yeah, it doesn't have to do with your code. So basically, yeah, when I call owner withdrawal, I want to dry out the contracts. I want to take all the fees I've been collecting since. I want to just take everything. So what I want to do is I want to call payable msg.sender dot transfer. Then I want to call, okay, let me change this to public because I want to call it inside this function. So public. I'll now do get balance. So basically, what the function does is when I call it, it takes all the money inside the contract and gives it to me. Basically, that's what it does. You get. So far, this is what we have. I think this is just what we'll do today. Then tomorrow we'll do everything we have to do. So let me test this contract now. So let's do our last look. Withdraw, transfer. Okay, I think that's good. So look at what I did here. Only owner, so that nobody can just come and empty this contract, because that would be really disastrous. After I finish collecting my fee, someone will come and collect it. No, I need to collect my fee myself. So only owner, I'm restricting. Yeah, go ahead, Elizabeth.
For the variable names for the function, like function withdraw, is that the only variable name that is acceptable for that particular function?
This one.
Or we can use any word? Yes.
Done. Yeah, this is arbitrary. It doesn't even, like, I can use anything. I can do take set. I can do give. It's nothing. It's not. It's nothing.
Okay. All right.
The only thing the only thing you should be bothered about when it comes to naming is these like keywords like receive, constructor, MSG, require. All these things that have something. But apart from that, modifier, all those things. Apart from that, every other thing can be used. Understand?
All right.
Yeah. So now let's deploy this. And okay, go ahead, Akande.
How did you know the owner of the contract, the smart contract?
Yeah.
That's the person that deployed it.
So this is where I initialize it, but this is where I set it in the constructor. I gave the person that deployed it the owner privilege. Like I say you're the owner. If you just deploy it, you're the owner. So the owner of the contract is most likely to be the one to deploy it. So that's why the owner of the contract, the person that deployed it is the owner of the contract.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
And that is usually denoted by the person's wallet address, right?
Yes. Yes.
Another question. If I do not write the withdraw function in this smart contracts, can anyone just come to withdraw the money from the smart contract? That's the money that was paid into the smart contract.
Like
That's
maybe
if I don't have this owner withdraw function.
yeah, there's no way to take money out of the contract if you don't have it.
Okay.
So the money is lost.
Lost.
Like you can't take it out. It's just be in the contract forever, and nothing will happen. It's just be there.
So if I do not get that when the contract is deployed, I do not specify the owner of the contract. That's to say no one can take the money from the contract.
Exactly. It's just be there. If
Wow.
there's no function to take the money out, it's just be there.
Oh, that's
And
true because I can't update it.
exactly. Okay. If you use an upgradable contract, you'll be able to do that. But most times you don't like imagine you didn't even think about using an upgradable contract, then it's gone. Even this one we are doing here, if everybody just sending money and it's updating your balance and there's no way to bring it out, then it's also gone.
Okay, but if the owner of the contract, let's say we're not doing this 10% thing, and I did this function withdraw where people that are putting money in the contract can take it. We can also empty the contract.
Cool.
Do you understand what I said?
Yeah, if everybody, like if I didn't do the 10% thing, then
Yeah.
anybody that does kind of like deduct the amount of money in the contract. So yeah, you are reducing the amount, and it will reach a point where it's empty. If everybody withdraws their money, then the contract becomes empty.
Okay, thanks.
Yes. Yeah. So like there's something I said before. Forget that we are dealing with Ether. All these things are numbers. So if you actually see this thing here, if I did not put this in here, this money just, in fact, okay, let me deploy this contract and send money to it, and you will see the balance of the contract. Let me deploy this. So I've deployed this now. And okay, this is the owner. So look at what I was saying. So because of I'm the one I deployed it, this is me, this is my address. Look at what's the address here. Same thing as this one. And I was the one that was charged the fee. So I'm the one that deployed it, right? Now, see our balance is 0. Okay, let me zoom out this place. Our balance is 0, bro. This our balance is 0. Now let me start sending money into the contract. You now see how it's updating and how you can track each user's balance. So this is the deployer, right? I want to choose another account. Take this one. And I want to send 10 Ether. 10 Ether. I want to send 10 Ether. So look at the balance as updated. So this 10 Ether is in the contract, right? But because of I'm doing storage outside just the balance storage itself, if I come here now and do balances now and check this guy now, you see that this person has 90. Like the person has 9 Ether. Because of I've already collected 10%. The balance of the Ether, the contract is 10, oh, but the person's balance is 90 because of I've already collected 10%. So if I now do get balance now, I'm seeing that remaining one that was taken by the contract. But this thing is just storage. I can decide to collect 20%, I can decide to collect 30%, but the money is just in the contract. Do you get? Because of if I'm withdrawing, what I'm using to know how much you are meant to withdraw is what this balance is telling me. You get? Now, let me use another address. Let me send money into this contract using another address. Let me take the third address and send in 10 Ether again. 20 Ether is now in the contract, but you have seen it update. If I take this address now and paste it here, just to know the balance. You know, this is the mapping, balance is mapping. This one here. This one here. So if I come here and check it now, paste it. You see this person also has 99 rather. And if I check the balance of the balance of the contract, I'm having this one, but automatically now I've taken 10% from 2 people that sends 10 Ether. So me, as the owner of the contract, I already have 2 Ether. You understand? Because I've taken 10% from 2 people that sent 10. Taking my tithe from them. So the third person, like you see, this they have deducted from this person. They have deducted from this person. They deduct from this person. So the next person, which is the person that has, I want to send from, when I finish sending the third person, then I'll now try to withdraw. So taking the address again, putting 10 Ether here, then try to putting 10 Ether here, 10 Ether here, and try to send. So when I do transact, you see now there's 30 Ether inside the contract. So if I come here and check the balance of this guy now that just sent money, the person also has 9 again, but the balance is 30 Ether. All of them have 999 each. Then that their 111 is coming to me, right? So now let's try to first of all, let's see the modifier in action. Let's now choose an address that you not even put any money, and the person is trying to withdraw. Because remember that for me to withdraw, I need to put the money in weight denomination because Remix doesn't know what is Solidity doesn't know what's Ether. It knows weight. Like it knows what is Ether, but basically it does everything in weight denomination. So right now, if I want to withdraw now, let me say I want to withdraw 100 weight. It's not, but it will not work. But this person does not have any money. So if I do withdraw now, You see, they have an error. It's telling me insufficient fund, right? The wrong person is trying to withdraw. You understand? The wrong person trying to withdraw. So first of all, let me now this contract, this address now is part of people that sent money, right? But let that person try to call only this function now. You see what to tell the person. This owner withdraw. Let me call it. If I call it now, so what it's telling me, only owner can call. You get only owner can call. So as a sharp guy now, owner of the contract, I want to go and withdraw my money first. You understand? So let me change back to the person that deployed it, which is this first person here now. You understand? Let me now click on that function. When I click on it, see what happened. Look at my balance. My balance has reached 129. I've collected money from 3 people like this now, and my money has increased because of I created this contract. You understand? Now, oh, something even happened here. So we have an error in our contract, meaning that we are not actually storing the amount that the person is for. Did you see what happened here? It didn't empty the contract because I just told the contract to withdraw everything and he emptied the contract. So everybody's money has gone because of I didn't add a check that says how much can be like collected by the contract. Do you actually see what just happened? Now, this is how hacks happen. You just make small mistake and before you know it has turned to big thing. So let's update our contract because we just made a very big mistake by allowing the owner of the contract to withdraw the contract, to withdraw from the contract without checking how much they have. But do you guys understand up to this point? Do you see what just happened here now?
Yes,
Yes.
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 Yeah.
Yeah. So the owner just withdrew, emptied the contract because there's no way to know, like, because just like I was telling you, all these things here are just numbers. Understand? The money is in the contract. So what I did here was send me the amount, all the money in the contract, and send me everything. Never even does not even know about this updating. The only time that this thing comes to play is when you want to start, when I'm updating balances. So now let's think about what we will do to make sure that this person can only withdraw at a particular point in time. So we can add like a check. You understand? We can add a check that says that at this point you can withdraw. You understand? But yeah, okay. Let me see. I think I'll just add a check here that says when, like that tells the owner when they can withdraw. Less, it will be really bad for everybody because if you now go and put your money in this kind of contract and you don't even know that the owner has the right to withdraw your money, you just lose. It's just like I think I saw one thing on the Bored Ape contract where the owners of Bored Ape are able to mint new apes, and most people don't even know. Understand? I think I saw it somewhere on Twitter at that time. So okay, let's add. What should we add now? Let's add a flag. Let's add a flag. Let's say that the only time that the contract, like the only time owner is meant to be able to withdraw is when okay, no. Okay, let me not do that. Okay, suggest what do you think we should do to make sure that only
How about trying to say the owner can only withdraw from the available percentage that belongs to him or her, something like that.
exactly. Now I want to create another mapping that just I want to create. Okay, let me actually create another. Let me create a variable. It's not a mapping that says owner fee. Owner fee. So basically, what happens is that this owner fee keeps track of the amount of money that the owner is getting. So let me call this fee. Okay, no, let me just do total fee. Sorry, owner fee plus equals plus equals this 10%. You understand what's happening here? So basically, anytime you send Ether, I'll update this owner fee with the fee you paid me. So the next time I'm withdrawing, what I need to do is to withdraw. I would set the I would set this do the get balance. Instead of me sending the whole balance, I would just set the owner fee, total fee. Sorry, owner fee here. Then I'll turn it to 0. So I'll set owner fee to 0 because I just emptied it. So next time it will start all over again. See what happened. So once you send money into the contract, I calculate how much is my fee and I add it to this owner fee. Then if the day I decide to withdraw, it adds all the money in the owner fee, then it sets it to 0. So thank you for that. So let's try again. Let's do.
Sorry. But all this will not be necessary if we don't include that 10% for the owner, right? All this won't be necessary.
Exactly. So yeah, let's deploy again. Yeah. So okay, now I'll just use only one. Okay, let me just use only 2 people to send. Let's just be quick because I have a meeting by 7, so I just want to quickly um, do this. So we've changed this. Let's send 1 Ether. Sorry, 10 Ether. 10 Ether transact. So this there's now 10 Ether in the contract. Oh, I didn't even set the total fee. I would have loved to see the total fee here, but no, I didn't set that as public, but that's fine. So let me use another one to send 10 Ether transact 20 Ether. So now when I try to withdraw the wrong address, the only owner can call. So if I come here and change it back to the owner and I do owner, you see it has changed to 18 Ether, right? I was able to withdraw the small thing that I've gotten from this contract I'm building. So the money was updated 131, but there's still remaining Ether for others to come and take. Even if I call this in again, I'm just wasting my fee because it's sending 000 Ether to me. So now, now let's go to somebody that actually has money on the contract and let's try to withdraw. Let's say, okay, let me first check the amount the person has and let me try to withdraw everything. So let me say check the amount. Okay, the person has 90. Let me take that 90 and put it into withdraw. And the person calls it, it goes successfully, and there's only 9. You understand? There was 18 before. Sorry, there was 18 Ether before. Now the person has withdrawn. So if you see the person balance has been updated. So even the next person has the same thing. So let's just call the withdraw again. Withdraw again is 0. You understand? Person has withdrawn their own too. So everybody have gotten their money back. So that's just it. So the contract is now empty. So we have successfully built it, and it took all our time. But tomorrow we have some exciting things to work on. ARC20 tokens, and please remind me. Someone asked about Rockpool. So remind me. I'll show you how. Yeah, I'll show you how they do that scam thing. Basically, they use the logic inside the transfer function just does crazy things that you would never have thought about. So yeah, I think that's all. Please ask questions. Just ask questions because I know it's been a lot, right? It's been a lot. And to be honest, I didn't even plan. I just wanted to be creative with this contract and we are here. So I know that you have questions. So please go ahead and ask questions. You have like a lot of time before 7 o'clock. Unfortunately, I would have said we should spend more time, but I have a meeting. So okay, go ahead. Please ask your questions. What don't you understand? Even if it has to do with okay, does anybody want to talk about errors they had when they were building? Quickly, if you want to show us your error and something you've not been able to fix so far, you can share your screen. Okay, Victoria, go ahead.
Mine is not about heroin. It is just the old Web3 experience for me. I was thinking like after building all these things, it would just lead us to a website, like other programming languages where we'll be able to see all these things. Are you saying like someone else that didn't deploy this contract now, like how would they view it?
Okay, that's like a wonderful question because it's very important, right? It's very important to be able to interact with what you build, right? So it's just like now, if you're a backend developer, 90% of the time, people won't be able to interact with what you build unless a front-end developer comes in and creates an interface for what you build. So this is just backend code, basically. You get so we'll get to a point like there's a part in the curriculum where it says interaction with the contract using ether.js. So trust me, we'll get there. It's part of the curriculum, even if we might not have the time to go through it, but definitely there are ways to interact with your contract. So basically, this is just a smart contract, and it's running on the browser. This is not on any blockchain. This deployment I'm doing here now, the deployment I've been doing is on the browser. You see, the same environment, Remix VM. So if I change this now to try, sorry, can everybody hear me? Is it from my end? Oh,
Yes, I can hear you.
okay. So Elizabeth, sorry, Nigerian network is bad. So if I change this thing now to injected provider, it will want to connect to my MetaMask. You understand? It will want to connect to my MetaMask. So now, if I change to MetaMask now, it will not be deploying on any network I want to deploy on. Then when I now deploy to that network, anybody that has my contract address would be able to interact with all these contracts. The person can decide to build an interface, the person can decide to build anything, but just to answer your question, definitely you would be able to interact with the contract. Name any exchange they are interacting with their contracts. Uniswap has a front end. PancakeSwap has a front end. SushiSwap has a front end. What those front end do is that they just interact with those contracts, make it easier. But some people actually do it from the back, just using code. Nobody, some people say just interacting with contract through code, like just without the whole front end thing. You understand? So to answer your question, yes, don't be disappointed. This is just back end code. It will get to a point whereby you need to interact with it, and hopefully we're able to do that. But if we don't do that, just know that yes, using React or using normal JavaScript to can interact with it. So Messi, go ahead. But Victoria, did I answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so Messi, go ahead.
Okay, good evening.
Mm.
So I just wanted to ask, what if you are writing the code for someone, like you're not the owner of the code, and you
Okay.
want the person to be the owner of the code, but you're using your this thing. How will you make the person the owner of the code without using like MSD.sender? Like you're the one deploying it, but you're not the owner of the code. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Like, is
So
there
I
any
can
other way to make another person the owner of the code?
just look at this quick function. It's called function change owner. And only the owner can call it. But basically, if you it allows you to set the owner, it allows you to set the owner to any address you specify. So only me can call it, but at the same time, it allows me to set the owner to anybody I like. So this function solves the whole problem of changing owner. Just this function, now, if I deploy this now, even if I'm the owner, but once I want to give it to my client, I'll now call this function and set client address, and it's now my client that can now auto limit it. Yeah, Messi, you understand?
Yes, I understand.
All right. Bakr, can you mute your mic? It's yeah. So Elizabeth, go ahead.
Because of my network keeps
Yeah, we can't hear you. Nigeria network. Okay. Okay, Chi, go ahead.
Okay,
Breaking, I didn't understand the honor fee, how you got that honor fee.
Okay.
Hello?
Sorry, you might have to watch the recording, but basically, what the fee is just something I invented inside. It doesn't have to do it. It's there's no big idea behind it. It's just that I want to collect fee, and I just put the way of fee. Did you hear what I said?
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I didn't hear. Network was breaking.
No.
The network keeps breaking here. You said what?
Okay. See what happened. Don't worry. Once you watch the recording, you see I answer the question. Nigerian network is very unpredictable. Don't worry.
Hello?
Okay, Chi. Go ahead.
I want to ask, supposing this what do they call it, TVA, total value locked or value locked as liquidity? How do they also achieve that? Is it by not including a withdrawal function?
Them. Is it like who? Is it a token or
Maybe
an
for a token. For a token.
Mm, okay, all these data insights platforms or data aggregation platforms, they have to get data. But at the same time, there are key metrics that they use to know those things. Like for instance, now Uniswap, there are ways to know that. But did you say total value locked for tokens? Because what I know about token is total supply. Um,
No,
total
sorry,
supply.
for
Yeah,
exchanges.
yeah, exchanges. There are ways to get that. There are ways to get that, and I think it's similar to the ways they get it on like normal traditional exchanges, like normal like stock exchanges. But yeah, there are ways to get it, which like personally, I don't really know how they calculate the total value locked. But yeah, I don't really know. But it's just based on the amount of transaction happening on a particular pair.
Okay. Okay. I get that.
So I can sorry, I can't pronounce your name, but okay. Akonde, can you go ahead?
okay, yeah, thanks. So, when I was doing this project, I I did something. I create okay, I did like users were creating wallets, and the wallets add an ID, add transactions. So I want to ask, does it make sense? So whenever they credited, I do like credit and debit. So whenever they credited the wallet, I created a transaction array struct, and the transaction struct array kind of that I save the transactions in the array in the wallet. So does it make sense to, because I know because of fee and everything, gas fee, we kind of limit information that we save on the blockchain. So does that approach make sense?
Mm, I wouldn't say no, but at the same time, you made a point, which is fees. Like, in fact, there are a particular set of people on the blockchain that they know them for, like, they are very good at optimizing gas fees, and which is good because you want to reduce the amount of money people pay to use your service. So at the same time, in as much as data is good, but at the same time, things like that, like for instance, now having arrays, using arrays now to set to handle balances is kind of, will I say, risky, because if you probably try to update your balance, you might have to start looping through and stuff like that. But
No, I'm not. I'm not. I wasn't using it to undo balance. I'm just using it to keep like transaction history on the wallet.
okay, transaction history.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was similar to what events is doing, right?
Mm, no.
Okay. What? What? Don't worry. I'll check it out. My time is almost up. Mercy, can you go ahead now before I go?
Okay, I just asked if it's possible to write a smart contract that can transfer Ether from a wallet to another wallet, and if it is
For
possible, is it
somebody,
the
right?
same?
Like a smart contract that can collect money from your address and send to another person. Is that what you mean?
Mm, no, like I have my wallet, you have your wallet now, and I just want to transfer it to you. I don't
Yes,
know.
yes, yes. Like, but you remember
But is it the
the
same
reason?
function we're going to write?
Yes, this same withdraw function. I'll just change it to this person's address. But like I said, the issue of not knowing the logic that the person has in their receive or fallback function if it's a contract. So that's why I didn't do it. But yeah, it's possible. Um, oh, it's almost 7. I need to go. Well, Bakar, ask your question.
Yeah, sorry. So how do you get it access to it? Like after you have deployed your contract, now I want to check if I can transfer and withdraw.
Um, now I'm using VM, JavaScript VM. But if you want to get faucet tokens like testnet tokens, go to Paradigm Faucet. Just write Paradigm Faucet on your browser, and you see Paradigm has a really good faucet that everybody's using now. So you can go and use that. Okay, Chi, ask your question. Okay, let me write it on the chat.
Okay,
Paradigm
I
Faucet.
want to know if we can program.
Huh?
I want to know if we can program this same wallet to be able to stake the stored ether or the stored money.
Yeah, you can program a contract to do anything you want. Really.
On this same
But when
wallet,
you
like this same wallet that I just used.
stake, like what do you mean by stake? Like interact with that contract that does.
No, no, no. Within the contract, like the users should be able to, you know how the staking feature works now.
Is it like this proof of stake thing?
No, no, no. Like to be able to stake and earn APR, be APY. Sorry.
Okay, no. You have to interact with the contract. So you have logic that makes them that gives them that you will stake them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, sorry
so,
guys.
Paul,
Thank
Gospel, can
you.
you hear me?
I'll have to go now. Yep. Yep.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.